Welcome to Gulf Coast Financial with John Kuykendall, the CEO and founder of Gulf Coast Financial Services. This program is designed to assist you in bettering your retirement experience through expert and caring financial support. John has degrees from the University of Florida, Louisiana State University, and the Advanced Management Program at Harvard University. He spent 20 years in banking before establishing Gulf Coast Financial Services. John is a certified Kingdom advisor, serving clients with biblical principles and worldviews, and is an active member of the National Association of Christian Financial Consultants. John is also a member of many local charity boards. And now, John Kuykendall presents Gulf Coast Financial.
And welcome into the program. This is Gulf Coast Financial, brought to you by the team at Gulf Coast Financial Services, voted best of the best in financial services by the Lake City Reporter, your resource, ladies and gentlemen, for a common sense approach to planning. And with us, as always, providing that guidance is founder CEO John Kuykendall. John, welcome in.
Thank you, Peter. Great to be here. I hope everybody out there had a good time, and I hope you had a good week.
Always a pleasure, John. I have. Thank you very much. And certainly we hope all listeners have as well. And as you, we hope you have had a great week, John. Now, I know you've been busy. Heck, everything going on in the market. I'm sure a lot of people with financial questions out there.
Well, it's been a great time, in the marketplace. We had that really big sell-off of over 30%, and people were a little scared. And then we started this recovery back. And one of the things that's interesting to me is that while all the markets are going up and people seem to think that everything's getting back to normal, that the S&P 500 through last Friday was still down a negative 5.9%, almost 6%. And 78% of the stocks in the S&P 500 are negative for the year. Mm-hmm. So, you have to really look at the numbers and look within the indexes, because it's 500 stocks, but the top 25% of the stocks make up 75 or 80% of the index.
Yeah. Yep. And we talked, I think it was last week or the week before, about stock price and then the dividends, the profit from the company versus the actual value of the company, and how the two things correlated, and how oftentimes when there's a drop in value, there's also a drop in profit, and both of those can be hit at the same time, which actually fits right into this article that we found this week from Kiplinger Magazine on how to fill that hole in your retirement income. John, that hole could potentially be created from a cut in dividends. But it's one of the things that for years, John, you have been talking about, this very formula of how to fill that hole, even with a great many investment portfolios down as much as 10, 15% or more in some cases.
That's right, Peter. One of the things we've always talked about on this show is income planning. And certainly if you had predictable, sustainable income during your retirement, then you wouldn't have to worry so much about the ups and downs in the market. You might not be able to go on as many trips or spend as much extra money as you would like, but all of your needs and everything that you need to make it day after day during retirement would be covered. And so this is just another example of why we need to do that. And it needs to be a living, breathing document that we review constantly. You can't continue to put off planning. And it's amazing how many people do. I think I read the other day that like 70% of the people don't have wills. So that's another example of procrastination, which it's the same thing we do with income planning. Yeah, I'm not going to need it. I'm fine. I can just keep spending my money, and I'm making good money in the stock market. Everybody wants to get back in now because the stock market's going up. But really, the time to get in was a little earlier than getting in right now.
Yeah. Well, planning is proactive. It is not procrastination. And we can't do many of these things the day after we realize we needed them. And that's why we've got to think ahead, and we've got to plan and prepare. Income planning for retirement really ultimately should start with the very first dollar we ever earn. Now, most people probably don't start that early, but John, you've said that far too many people delay and wait far too late. And with pensions having been placed on the endangered species list, with news about trouble to Social Security potentially looming in our future. Really, the onus and the burden and the responsibility of having that income plan for retirement has never fallen more squarely on our shoulders. It is our responsibility now.
That's true, and it has been since the 80s. Unfortunately, a lot of us treat it as free money. It's money that we haven't seen. It's money that we put aside before we saw it, because it came out of our paychecks, and the company matched. And so we have this money saved up, and then all of a sudden, something like COVID-19 comes in, and 40% of the people have already taken money out of their 401ks because we got the relief this year to do it if you wanted to without penalty.
Yeah.
And so that just puts us that much further behind, Peter. And if we don't start that plan and figure out where we're going, then we're never going to be able to have the kind of retirement we want. Social Security, as you just said, is predicted to only be able to pay out 75 cents on the dollar in 2032. Maybe sooner than that, maybe a little bit later than that.
Yeah, that date keeps getting closer and closer.
Well, at one point in time, it was a long time ago. The older I get, the closer it comes,
Yep. But they keep moving it forward too. I mean, we keep getting closer. Obviously, time goes by, but they keep inching it closer on both sides, burning the candle at both ends.
We're paying out more money now than we're taking in, and so certainly that number is going to have to be continually looked at, and that break-even point, I think, is going to move closer. The other thing too is we've talked about, in retirement we have to worry about taxes, and that's one way we can help our retirement, is to maximize our taxes so that we minimize the amount we have to pay to the government. And so many people just put that off and don't worry about it, don't plan it. I've got a client that called me the other day, and we're going to have to take money out of his account, out of his IRA, pay taxes on it, because he bought something last year, took the money out of the 401k, out of his IRA, didn't talk to me, and now he put him in a different tax bracket. So his taxes are almost triple from what they were last year, and he hadn't planned for it.
Yeah.
So we need to do that planning to make sure that we have everything under control and that it all flows together. One of the things that Kiplinger is talking about here, the number one thing is to create a plan for retirement income.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been saying for years now, is we need to plan for income, not plan for allocation or for how much money I'm going to be able to take out of my accounts, but plan for predictable, sustainable income in retirement.
John, how about this? A pretty strong and ironic indicator that we do need a plan for retirement income. Inside of most people's 401ks, the majority of 401k investment is now done through what are called target date funds. And so for me, in my situation, just using as an example, I might have a 2040 target date fund stating that 2040 is the year that I intend to retire. Well, what happens at 2041 or in 2040 when I retire? That fund, its useful timeline has expired. If that is not a indication that you need a plan for the following period of time for retirement, that your target date fund, the fund that you have utilized, has now expired in its timeline, I don't know what else is.
Right, I know, Peter. And what happens is as we progress closer to that 2041 number, you end up with more bonds, less stocks, so you don't make as much. You have lower yields. Supposedly, you get more stability. But if we have a 2008 when bonds are down, stocks are down, everything's down, you're going to lose money.
Yeah, and to your point, one of the largest funds by volume of dollars invested in the Great Recession 2007 and 2008 was a 2010 target date fund. And I think during the Great Recession, it lost upwards of 30%. So this is a fund that's intended to help people retire in just 2 to 3 years, losing about a third of its value right there in the home stretch. So maybe these target date funds don't do exactly what they're intended, and they certainly don't have a component of a retirement income plan.
No, there's no retirement income plan in that. And certainly, the one thing we have to do is anytime we're investing our money, we should be monitoring it and watching those, not just putting the statements in the drawer because the market's up. The market may be going up and you may be going down. So we certainly want to make sure that your allocation is right and that based upon the options within your plan, that you're well allocated and that we have a good asset allocation plan for you based on your risk tolerance.
Well, if you would like to get a retirement plan put together, I do want to remind the listeners, the viewers here, John, that they can get in touch with you and your team there at Gulf Coast Financial Services. You make the offer, a complimentary service that is available as an extension of this program to sit down, run through a comprehensive review, a retirement planning strategy session, the specific retirement income plan part of that. Ladies and gentlemen, all you need to do to take advantage, pick up the phone, give a call, 386-755-9018. That's 386-755-9018, or visit online, GulfCoastFinancial.net. Get the process started there. Again, 386-755-9018. No benefit in procrastinating, no downside for placing the call, no reason to meet in person to get that process started, just a phone call. And then you can get answers to your questions. You can address those issues that are on your mind. You can get the process started through a convenient and safe virtual review or over the phone or in person if merited. And again, John Kuykendall and his team there at Gulf Coast Financial Services making that offer. Similar reviews and strategy sessions and the design of a retirement income plan can easily be valued at $1,000 or several thousands of dollars. They make it available free of charge. You're willing to invest a little of your time. They're willing to donate some of theirs. And John, you're really helping people as they have been overwhelmed. I mean, we have seen through this COVID, the stock market rise and fall and come back, but it was down nearly 30%. The bond market flat or down, not offsetting those stock market losses. The yield on treasuries and other secure investments down below 1%. So all told, we've taken a hit in our retirement progress, and people are looking for ways to create that income plan. The traditional Wall Street model has not sufficed to provide for confidence, stability, or predictability.
No, Peter, we're at the lowest interest rates we've had in history. We're at zero. I don't know where else we can go. But the banks certainly can't afford to pay a lot of money on CDs, certificates of deposit. Savings is down. Checking, I guess, is minuscule if you get anything on your checking account anymore. So those savers those retirees who've been living off of that interest or off those bond funds, they need to take a look at that because the yields aren't there. We're just not getting it. It's not like it used to be in the old days. The prior generation was very fortunate in that they could retire with high interest rates. They could get a good return on their savings. And at the same time, it would give them that income that they needed to live off of. As you said right now, we have dividend paying stocks, but after that downturn in the market, a lot of stocks, and the fact that 78% of the stocks in the S&P 500 are still down, a lot of stocks are cutting their dividends or eliminating their dividends.
Yeah.
Ford is a good example. Ford had a great dividend yield because their stock was so low, but when they cut it out, zero isn't a good yield anymore.
No.
So
and the value of the stock is still down.
Yeah, the value. I mean, you're not making any more money in the stock, but you're certainly not having any income coming in either.
So thinking about this, John, though, you have talked about ways that not only can we provide security and safety and preservation of certain assets that we don't want to take the risk of the market with, but that we also can secure an income stream, oftentimes higher than what the Wall Street models have suggested. So with the Wall Street model, the rule of thumb that has been in place for, I guess, now going on 30 years has been this 4% rule. But if we can get 5 or 6%, that means that we need 25 to 30% less money, less assets. So if we've got a finite amount of money that we are retiring with and we need less of it to produce the same amount of income, that leaves us more discretionary money. That leaves us more kind of a security blanket there. And John, if I am creating income from a finite amount of money, again, what I retire with the day I retire, the last time I intend to, earn a paycheck, I've got to make that money last. But over time, we've got the possibility of that depleting and diminishing at the same time that expenses traditionally go up over time. And so taking more income from a smaller and smaller asset has me nervous. If we can define that income, get that cash flow higher the day that we retire, that's what income planning is all about, right?
That's right. I mean, what we're trying to do is find ways that we can give you that 5.5% on day one or day three or day four, year four. And so that you know that you're going to have the same amount of income, just like your Social Security check. You're going to have that same amount of income coming in every month to pay your bills. Then we take another bucket and we call it our growth bucket. We invest that for growth, and that's going to pay for the inflation. It's going to pay us for the roof repairs, the car purchases, the trips, the things that we want to do. As Tom Hagen says, it's the the slow go, no go, and so early in retirement, you're going to be going, you're going to be traveling, you're going to be doing things.
The go-go years.
Yeah, as you get older, they're going to be the slow go. You're still going to want to do things, but you're not going to want to do as many things. And then because of health, I'm telling you right now, I know that. And then the last phase is the no-go, where you stay home, you don't travel, you go to the doctor. That's your big social visit.
Sure.
And so we have to plan that out. We don't want to have to start the go-go years with no money.
Yep. No, but if the healthcare, if the passing of assets is not your top concern today, at one point into the future, at some point into the future, it will be. And even though saving and accumulating may be your top concern today, at some point into the future, funding those go-go years and the slow-go years even, and then throughout retirement, making sure you do not outlive your money, that is going to be your chief concern. And that's why you've got to have that specific retirement income plan, creating a plan for retirement income to generate as much income as possible from the assets that we've saved.
That's right. And, the income plan is we're not just talking about income. What we're talking about is tax planning. We want to look at your taxes and make sure that as we retire, that we're going to be paying as little as we need to the government, but we pay what we owe, but we don't make mistakes on how we're doing it, and we don't make mistakes on withdrawals. We maximize our withdrawals from our deferred accounts. The other thing is we want to look at Social Security. We want to help you maximize your Social Security, let you know how much money you're giving it out by taking early, but working in plans that will give you the most money and maybe not hurt you any, but be able to do things for you that you're not thinking about. And then we also want to look at Medicare planning, because healthcare is going to be something after you reach 65 that you're going to be concerned about for the rest of your life. We need to take a look at that Medicare planning and plan for the best Medicare plan. And then finally, we want to look at long-term care. We want to know how we're going to pay for some type of confinement during our latter years. And so we don't start that at 80 when I'm in a rest home. We start that early and we work towards that. And part of the income plan can also be a plan to help us with that, because there are a lot of annuities right now, as you know, these hybrid annuities pay double for confinement at home or in a facility. So all that goes together. There's a lot of different components to this. There's a lot of ways to give you tax-free income, tax-free savings that you don't think about. And if you're not running that plan, if you're not looking at that plan, and if we're not planning early enough, then we're not taking advantage of everything we need to take advantage of. And I'm telling you that we're going to have a lot of people in the next generation and the next generation that are going to have a retirement that's not going to be the one that they really wanted. It's going to be the retirement they have to have.
John, you mentioned the A word there, annuity, and I know that you've got access to many different options, basically the full spectrum of the financial world. You do have clients that you help to manage assets and investments that are in the market, but you can
Right.
also offer that safety and protection in the annuities. Certain options within that world can offer safety of principal. They can offer contractual guarantees
Mhm.
for lifetime income, and so the balance is really important. But where we are, circling back to the beginning of the program, now lacking in pensions and Social Security is in jeopardy. And we are now more responsible for financing our retirement and creating that security. The safety, the preservation, the
Mhm.
guarantees that an annuity can offer are helping to replace what people really liked about the pension and the Social Security, that if the market is volatile and goes down 30% or more, that we can still count and rely on the same amount of income showing up the next month.
That's right, Peter. And the other thing is the L word, life insurance. That's something that nobody wants to talk about it because for years we beat over their head that they had to die to get it. But now it provides tax-free income. It provides long-term care, critical illness, chronic illness, and it also provides a safety net for your family while you're reaching that retirement age. So there's a lot of things that are in our tool belt that people turn us off when they hear the words. But, today's different than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. Life insurance annuities have come a long way, and certainly they shouldn't be discounted by anybody.
Yep.
We
Well,
should look at the insurance company underneath them to make sure that the guarantees are provided by the insurance company and the insurance industry. But there are certainly some great products, low cost products, and some good companies out there that are offering great things.
Well, the tools that are available inside your 401k do not constitute a retirement plan, and you need to have a plan in order to fill that hole in your retirement income. You make sure you've got a specific written retirement income plan to generate more income. It will help you to build more security and confidence and peace of mind is quality of life into and throughout retirement. And you can utilize that plan to help you lower the fees that you're paying, the expenses of your money, lower your tax rate, minimize your stress level, and address some of the future needs that you will have from your money, like longevity and long-term care and medical and health, and eventually, hopefully, a legacy as well to your loved ones. But if that's not a goal, not a selfish notion, but you still have to have a plan to make sure that you don't run out of money over the course of your lifetime. And John Kuykendall, his team there at Gulf Coast Financial Services, can help you create that plan. Pick up the phone, give a call, 386-755-9018. That's 386-755-9018, 386-755-9018, or online, gulfcoastfinancial.net. That is a .net domain name, gulfcoastfinancial.net. Or again, get the process started, give them a call, 386-755-9018. John, I mean, you've talked about it here, but really, even through the market volatility, that the house has seemed like it's on fire, but your message has not changed. You were talking about this well before the coronavirus and COVID-19 and the shutdown, and I fully expect that you will continue talking about this for many years to come.
I think, Peter, that this is the most important thing that we can do. And it's a shame that it's not required of everyone that has a 401k or retirement plan. But, it's something that's offered. Don't procrastinate. Do your tax planning, do all the things that we offer. It'll make so much more sense when you see the whole thing together.
Pick up the
It's
phone.
amazing.
Get that plan put together for yourself, for your own situation, for your family. 386-755-9018. That's 386-755-9018. John, we always appreciate your guidance, perspective, the advice that you provide here on the radio program. Thank you for being our resource.
Thank you, Peter. It was great being here.
Always a pleasure talking with John Kuykendall. He's looking forward to hearing from you. Give a call, 386-755-9018, or visit GulfCoastFinancial.net, where you can always listen, like, subscribe to the podcast, listen to past editions. Make sure that you share that information with friends, neighbors, loved ones, family that may find value in it as well. Give us a listen, a like, and a subscribe so you can be notified when new editions are made available. GulfCoastFinancial.net, your resource there, or give them a call for that complimentary review, 386-755-9018. We'll talk to you soon.
The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for a particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature and not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs. Early withdrawals may subject the owner to penalties, fees, or taxes. John Kuykendall is registered with and securities are offered through Kovac Securities Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Kovac Securities, found online at www.kovac. Advisory services are offered through Gulf Coast Financial Services Inc., a registered investment advisor in Florida. Gulf Coast Financial Services Inc. is not affiliated with Kovac Securities Inc. or Kovac Advisors Inc.